Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Future Friday, we're going to talk about the bureaucratic limit of our reality, our whole world, our every single large scale system that we build. Because I think this is one of the serious problems that we genuinely have to figure out. So what exactly is the bureaucrat? Well, in political sense, is basically you elect politicians. Let's say you selected Donald Trump and Donald Trump is like, I'm going to do this. Awesome, no problem. But here's the deal. He cannot physically do it because again, he may not have the, let's say he says, I'm going to reduce taxes. Okay, awesome. How the heck you going to do it? Again, he cannot just say, reduce taxes. Somebody has to do the paperwork, somebody has to do the filing, somebody has to deal with the treasury, somebody has to do that. Those jobs come into bureaucrats. Bureaucrats get it done. Basically, if somebody is like, I want to build a metro, politician gets elected based on that. The politician is like, okay, I'm gonna do this. Who the heck actually doing it, like actually putting in the work, is the bureaucrats. So bureaucrats do it. Now, one thing you have to understand, in ideal scenario, bureaucrats are not affected by election or public perception. Now, this is by design. The reason for that is many times people have learned it, like all of the old civilization taught us this one thing. People are wrong most of the time. Like you can literally, I'm not even joking, convince the whole world that a freaking vacuum tube could be a good transportation. Meanwhile, we have like struggling with freaking metros. You can convince the world of that. So people have realized very early on is that for some things, public perception is not the right tool. So if public elect someone, they want to do something, bureaucrats supposed to be last line of defense where they're like, hey, you want to get Hyperloop done. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm like, please tell me who is your sweet supplier, but awesome. Here's the work. I'll get working on it, and they'll waste 4 years of the time, and then voila, next worker is like, yeah, that does not work. That's why we kind of delayed it. That's supposed to ideal scenario where it's like, bureaucrats are acting as a fail-safe, where they're like, yeah, this we cannot do. Like for example, if some politician in UK gets elected based on like, I'm going to reduce taxes, yay, I'm not going to cut spending, no. And it's like, and nobody's like, dude, wheat supply, let go. And it's like, they still get elected. Bureaucrats supposed to be the breaking line where it's like, I get it, you want to do it. They can just, apply brakes on there. That's why many times you will see, oh, this bill was passed, but like it was changed. That's the bureaucrat layer. So it was by design. Like this is one good thing about it. Bureaucrats are designed in such a way that they are ideally, in ideal scenario, they are not affected by perception or elections. And it's an important part. This is the most painful part, is that they are an important part of large group of people or states. For example, if you have a lot of states, you have to have bureaucrats. If you are talking about company, large enough company, be it Tata Consultancy Services or Microsoft or Amazon or things of that nature, you still need it. That's the most weird part about it. Bureaucrats know, oh, these are evil people or like who are burning the country. No, they are necessary. That's the problematic part of it, that they are important. And I'm talking about corporation, like how many bureaucrats Samsung has, you will be shocked. So this comes to another aspect of it, public and private, because many times people, when they get tired of the government, they may have this illusion where they are like, hey, what if we just privatize things? Some things, privatizing, awesome, GG, especially if you have transparency and fail safes and some regulations, it does work amazingly well. Most time it does not. So that's why like you have to understand this affects everything that is public or private, specifically when you are talking about large group. Large group could be how large? Generally, when you are talking about 1,000 people, it starts to creep in. When you call it by other name known as office politics. So how the heck this gets this bad? Well, we need it and they know it. That's the dangerous part. It's like they know that you need them. It's like a doctor can charge whatever the hell they want to charge you, because again, they know that you, who the hell you're gonna go to. Like you don't have any other option and they know it. So they're like, more money, baby. Low ethics people. So they do that. And here comes the critical aspect. When you hire the bureaucrats, everything is like, awesome, I want to make my country better or I want to make my company better. Everything is awesome. But here's slowly, over time, human psychology takes over and they start to climb the ladder, meaning more power. I have, let's say, 1 megawatt of power. I want 5 megawatts of power, more power. And folks start to focus on that rather than improving the system. Meaning if they were hired to, hey, make metro more efficient, they're like, first few years, they're working on actually making metro system awesome. GG. And then slowly it's like, you know what, that's not going anywhere. How about I get more power? And things get out of hand. And then large enterprises also have what we call the board. Like to give you a context of that, like how bad, like mind-numbingly bad these people can be. There was a company, small company known as Apple. It had a board of director and they decided to fire Steve Jobs. Not even joking. This actually happened. So it's one of those things, like many times you will see company doing a decision where like, dude, you must be high or damaged. Yeah, I can guarantee you it's from board. Like I can guarantee you there is not a single engineer in Samsung that's like, you know what? I enjoy getting bitch slapped by Apple. It's like nobody is there. They are like, dude, give me time, give me like, unrestrained horsepower. I will bitch slap Apple. Why can't they do it? Somebody in the board decided, you know what? It would be nice if we are releasing 145 models per year. I'm not even joking about that number. Every time there is a new RAM model, that's a new model. That's why Apple never gives you RAM option. It always gives you memory option. And if you want more RAM, they're like, dude, go buy it to Pro Series. It will not let you have garbage experience. And again, it also makes software teams department job much easier. Imagine Samsung only released 15 models per year. They would destroy every other mobile. Like through sheer polish, they could destroy every other thing. It's like the board is like, we think the market needs this. Like whenever you have this term, market needs this, somebody doing this, board director, I can guarantee you it's never from engineer. Never ever from engineer happens. Like if Canon decides, market needs us to block third-party lenses, never an engineer will never do that, because it's like engineers knows this, that they are human, they can mess up. If they love the system, they're like, dude, they will keep us honest. And you want that, you desire that, because who wins in the other end? Your brand. So everybody suffers from this, and it grows out of control if you are not trimming it regularly, meaning board of directors have to be circled. And again, if not done correctly, if passionate people are not there, you could literally have a company like Microsoft. Somebody could get into the position of CEO and whose sole job is to literally sabotage your own company, because that will allow him to make more profit. That has happened. Not even joking about that. So this is one thing. Unless you have like what we call periodic cleansing, you could literally mess up an amazing country. Like you can have a company as amazing as Boeing, which can be like, bro, I got your back. Boeing to USA was like, Boeing, this is Boeing, we trust you, you give us money, we put you to the moon. Like they are literally that important in Saturn V project, and they delivered on time. And right now they cannot even build a one capsule. How the heck that happened? Board of directors. I'm not even joking, they bought Muckler's Dollars, which was a good, amazing, technologically advanced company. But instead of hiring engineers, they hired their lawyers and their bureaucrats. The Boeing literally went downhill after that. Like everybody who was serious about Boeing, they're like, okay, Boeing is done for. And that's why I said, like, it is very important. If you are not periodically cleansing it, the company that was like amazing, at one point it's like, bro, this is my company. Like a company that was made out of passion, let's say Ferrari, made by Enzo Ferrari, or Ford, made by, let's say, Henry Ford. All these companies would start to create garbage that you're like, dude, if the founder were alive here, they would be like dead again. So this is one thing you have to understand. If you want to understand who is actually in power in America, go here. Don't go into White House. Go here. There are people here who are ruling things, managing things, and they're like, dude, presidents come and go. I was, I am, and I will be. I'm not even joking about that. So this is very critical. Do not think private solves all of this. Some small scenarios, yeah. Everything, no. Then we come to the final boss. That is the red tape. So what does red tape actually mean? What does it affect us? Like how does it destroy our life? Well, people want to do a thing. For example, they're like, hey, I want a metro. Hey, I want a flyover. Awesome. People wants to do a thing. So politicians, people go to politician. Politicians like, okay, I got you. I hear you. We're going to do this. So politician goes to bureaucracy and they're like, hey, treasury department, we need money. They're like, okay, awesome. Here's the money allotted for it. And then things go to office. Let's say transport office generally. And then poof, because that's the final boss layer of red tape. Now, if you ever wondered how the heck China somehow magically managed to make such a high-speed network at such a high speed that even Europe looks like a mess, they did not have to deal with bureaucracy. They somehow created, not somehow, it was like a direct brutalization system. It was like, dude, this is a high-speed railway network. It bypasses everything. Oh, you are going through someone's house? Oh, they are resisting? You're going through this, this will destroy other ecosystem? Environmental review, what is that? High speed. Dude, it's economic department is like, dude, this is useless for us. Please give us a freight car corridor rather than a freaking high speed corridor. So you have to understand that. Bureaucracy can literally take money, time, and poof it out of existence. Where you're like, dude, this is supposed to be built like even with inflation calculation. Even if you add 20% headroom or double it, it still would be like, Dude, I gave it like, let's say 500 crores to build one flyover, which again, it's idiotically exaggerated, but let's say that's how much you allotted. It will take 3,000 because of red tape. And I'm not joking, like this is something that I'm personally experiencing, because again, there was a flyover. Again, there is an airport also nearby, which was like built, and because of the red tape, there was some conflict and all that jazz. They figured out they have to do ILS, Instrument Landing System. It was never done. An airport is somehow open and planes are not reliable. Why? Again, there is no instrumental. So if there is a wind, gusty wind or a bad environment, they just go into some other airport. It's not reliable. Basically, it's useless. So this sort of thing you have to understand. Every time you are like, hey, Elon Musk is going to dig tunnels like very fast. Here's the deal. Every tunnel engineer is like, bro, we can do tunnels 10 times faster than what we are doing right now. Why the heck we don't do it? Simply because of red tape. For example, in USA, tunnel costs are idiotically high, higher than anywhere. Higher than India, higher than China, higher than Europe, higher than everywhere. Why? They have environmental review board that could take 2 to 3 years just to start. Not even joking about that part. So red tape is the final layer, final boss. Basically, getting anything done through red tape, it's idiotically expensive. Meaning, Bangalore Metro could start like, this should be done by 2025, and people will like 2035, they will be like, I can see some construction going on. That's how bad it is. It is brutal. And it's the biggest slowdown on a country. That's why I said like China. How the heck China randomly became so good? They did not. They just removed the bureaucracy layer, which was important fail-safe. There is a reason we have to have bureaucracy. But if we do not have it, yes, you will move faster. But again, there are some consequences. It's not just like black and white, red tape bad. There's a reason for it. We'll explain that further. And if you ever wondered how the heck a big company or country is not growing as fast as they used to, generally it would be red tape. And it's very critical. You have to understand this. You have to align things according to it. If you do not, your country could literally disappear out of map, financially speaking. Then we come to the most brutal aspect, that is corruption. Now here's the deal. Corruption could be so bad that you can appear to the world to be the second most powerful military in the world, and you will get bitch slapped by basically a poor neighbor of Europe, basically. That has happened. I'm talking about a country, a bald man. I'm also becoming bald, but you get that point. So you can have like, Russia, I'm like so powerful, and Ukraine is like, go away, go away. It's like, and America is like, here's our outdated HIMARS system, just to make that. And please don't hit them inside there, like they'll get angry. It's like, and Putin's like, NATO is at war with us. It's like, go to war with NATO. See, if Ukraine is beating you that badly that you have to do mobilization. Mobilization is the only tool that should only be used in one scenario. If somebody is invading you, when you are invading, you should not need mobilization. And if you need it, you're done messed up. Now, how the heck it became that bad? Again, corruption. They thought, like Putin thought he had people. But again, corrupt people always forget people below them are also corrupt. So if a corrupt official gets power and is like, no, I'm going to fix the country, it's like, no, sir, you won't. Because people like you created a pathway of corruption. That corruption, other people also exploit. So what does corruption translate to? It translates to rich people paying for speed. For example, if you are really rich, I'm like a few kind of rich, you can pay your ways to things that will take months or years for other people. You're like, bro, I get it. This permit, done. Or like, that's why like big company, if you ever notice how the heck big companies get even bigger, again, they have enough stockpile of money that they can bribe their way into all the bureaucracy. So inherently, they will be working 2 or 3x faster than anyone else. Then officer also pays, basically all these employees. In India, it's really bad. Actually, to be fair, it's bad everywhere, but it's like, it's this bad. Like to give you a context, we know like all the officers, public officers, their salary is public. They steal that amount of money that they can never spend. This sort of money is so goddamn high, they will buy private jets out of it. But here's the deal, they cannot buy it. Everybody will like, dude, why the heck you have a private jet? We know your salary. It's like public servant salary. We know it. You cannot have private jets. So how the heck you have it? So they never spend it. So that's why like there is bulk of money, crores and crores, like millions of dollar kind of money just there. I'm not even joking, like there were bulks of gold, like bulky, like container full of gold just there for 50 years. Because like, and what this money is actually used, it's also used for other things. Basically, they are paying for lobbying. So the politicians make hula la la, and it's like, we have to fund this part, especially during the budget session. They're like, with this sector, we punch it, so they do it. Government also pays for red tape. Basically, every government is like, I want more control. Now, this is the inherent aspect of human psychology, whereas like anybody who is in power may be very good at one thing, but that aspect itself triggers you to believing into something, whereas like I'm good at everything else also. For example, you could be like, I'm a road minister, I'm really good with roads, like give me roads, I'll fix the country roads. They're like, I'll do it, and they did it. And then they're like, we are also gonna run hydrogen cars. It's like, dude, that's a dumb idea. We had 1950s technology to prove it. We have mathematics that it does not have enough energy per liter. That's why we do not use it. Saying it has in kilograms, it's like, dude, hydrogen is the lightest element. It is so low density that how much you can have in 1 liter of hydrogen versus 1 liter of diesel is 0 versus 35 megajoules. Diesel has 35 megajoules, hydrogen is 0. So you have to make it liquid. Still would be very little. Do the math yourself. Do not go fall for kilogram, fall for liters, and then you'll understand why I hate hydrogen so much. And there lies the problem. Government always want that. Like, I'm in power, I want this. It always comes back. So basically, at the end of it, it just becomes a power grab. Basically, the board of directors, they are no longer focused on like what happened with Boeing. They are no longer focused on let's make Boeing the amazing name it was. They're like, I want more money. So it just becomes a power grab. And public gets stamped out at the other end, and nation can die over time with this. This is one of those things, if not controlled, if not like, it's almost like if you have a forest, you have to make sure there are some species that are very violent, they should not be around there. You have to prune them, basically. Some trees, some things, they are very toxic and it destroys the ecosystem. You're like, no, bro. No, you have to periodically clean them. If you don't, this system can literally be like, I'm the world's second largest army and I'm like unable to deal anything with Ukraine. It's like they are taking places. It's like they were trying to take over the capital, which they should. Like that's like India going to Nepal as a war and Nepal bitch slapping us. Actually, the ratio is not that bad. India going to Bhutan and then getting bitch slapped. That's how bad it is. And if you don't know Bhutan, that's the whole point. So that's the corruption aspect of it. It creates a very fertile ground. The bureaucracy creates a very fertile ground, and it is very like it gets out of hand bafflingly fast. Then we come to the most brutal aspect. There are certain problems that we humans cannot fundamentally solve. This is one of them. That's why I classified as bureaucratic limit, meaning how efficiently can we work? How much thing can we do? Basically, can we solve global warming? If it was in the hands of engineer, we would have solved it 30 years ago. Then why the heck we haven't solved it? Bureaucracy, red tape. And the problem is that it's not something that's like shut down bureaucracy. No, we need it. We need it. We actually need it. And that's why I said, like, the worst part is we need it and they know that we need it. So they charge whatever the hell they want and they get out of hand. We genuinely do not have any easy answer. So there is no easy answer. Now, are there any steps that we can take to limit the damage? Yes. One of the thankfully development of modern technology is the core level digitization. Now, unfortunately, no major country has done that. And again, India is trying to go into digital world, but still we have, like, think of this, like, we are actually that stupid that countries have paperwork. Now, normal people will use A4. It's mass produced, made by almost everyone, comes with different sizes with the same ratio. So you never have to worry about margins. It's amazing. It's awesome. It was thought through, properly designed. We use legal paper. There is a different paper mill that has to be made just for legal paper. Well, literally burning money for paper. Not even joking. So we have to understand this, many things in our basically bureaucratic world, where it's like file is sent physically. I'm not even joking. Physically sent from A to B physically. You're like, why? Can't we send digital file? Like, and digital file could be timestamped. It's like, bro, at 11:30 I sent the file. That means file was there at 11:31. It wasn't like, there was like, low-level people who shuffle file around, and they're like, oh, in India they have like very bad tendency to be ludicrously rich, simply because they take money for shuffling your file. So they'll take the money. If you pay them, your file will be on top, so that it will be sorted. And if the officer ever gets called, it's like, why the heck you're not sorted? Oh, the file is lost. It's like, why the heck we have paper files? We can do digital files. And if digital file is done properly, we can actually shift to A4. And then it's like very easy to print out, very easy to validate. And again, I'm not joking. Is by law requirement to have legal paper. Like, you cannot even use A4 paper for many things. Like, no, it's by law. It's like, no, it's by stupidity. So we have to go to core level digitization, where everything should be digital first, paper as a backup, as a fail-safe. Should not be like, the paper must come first. No. Paper should be fail-safe. Like, once things are done, then you print it out and you're like, okay, done. And if person is affected, they can also have their own printouts, and they will have digital key to verify. It's like, yeah, this is the file, this is the, and again, because there will be supply chain of data of that, you'll know the file came from here, it came here, it can, and you can also monitor. It's like, bro, you're getting 10 files a day. Why the heck you're not sorting 10 files a day? You're supposed to sort it. You have the payment salary that allows you to sort that much. You have that many employees working under you. Why the heck you're not sorting it? And you can't bitch about it. It's like, oh, the file is getting lost. No. The file came to you, directly to you, to your computer, on a day where you're supposed to be in office, on a time where you're supposed to be in office, working. So this is one layer that can truly allow us to save a lot of bureaucracy. We can just like take very large section of inefficiency in bureaucracy and poof it out, make it far more transparent. Another thing is public vigilance, and it goes for companies also. Vigilance is the only cure, because for example, Pakistan is going through really bad time right now. Now here still, did it happen magically? Did it happen like, oh, one very bad flood happened and the country went broke? No, it was happening for 20 years. Not even joking. For 20 years, their import was far more expensive than their export. So basically, they were exporting very little, gaining very little amount of money and exporting idiotically low-grade products. Basically, they were not making that much money. Basically, their income was far lower than their expenditure. Anyone can tell you this cannot go on for very long duration. This was 20 years ago. See the graph for 20 years, they were always in negative. They had the bureaucrats here, politicians here, public here had 20 years to figure it out. It's like, bro, we have to apply brakes today, otherwise we will not have a tomorrow. But they failed. And I'm very happy to see Pakistani public finally waking up. And you can see many on-site, like on-road reporting, where people are like, dude, these politicians are always like, we're going to give you Kashmir, we're going to give you Kashmir. It's like, dude, Kashmir have basically flour, food component, important food component that is like available for 30 to 40 rupees per kilogram. Not too cheap, not too expensive. In Pakistan right now, it could be as high as 250 rupees. Like, dude, you cannot feed your own people. Your inflation is that out of control. You simply have supply shortage. People are fighting. Actual pew is happening with grains, with wheat, with flour, and you're gonna take Kashmir. It's like, how the heck are you gonna feed them? So Pakistani public is working, but they were 20 years too late. Same happened with Sri Lanka. When Sri Lanka is like, we're gonna give tax break. It's like, awesome, but how the heck, we're gonna do green only. Every farmer should have been like, bro, no, we cannot just force green agriculture. It has to be phased out brick by brick. They were not vigilant and they paid the price. Same goes with China. China's like, CCP is bad, not Chinese people. CCP is genuinely bad. Like, if you think West is bad, CCP is like, bro, hold my beer. I am that bad. Like, what CCP did is like, oh, West is trying to take over us. That's why we have to remove all the religion, our own religion. Like, China had their own religion and they throw it away. Like, they had like good people. Like, back in the old days, like before CCP, people were like polite about it. It's like, yeah, Chinese people, good people, good people. Now they're like, dude, they're not good people. Why? They removed all the religion, all the morality, brick by brick, and they created a nationality. It was like, oh, the world is trying to take over us. It's like, dude, you are the one that is trying to take over the world. Nobody else has time for it. It's like, it's the ironic part is that dictator is always the one who starts a war, and there's like, the world is trying to take over. It's like, you are the one who started it. Then you will get bitch slap. It's almost like how imperialist Japan is like, we're gonna do like China and we're gonna like, bomb Pearl Harbor. And it's like, America's like, bro, no. So this is one of the things you have to understand. See, if publics are vigilant, because like right now, third year of lockdown, public finally broke. It's like, dude, this cannot go on. So white paper movement started. That was around 26th December, I think it started. And finally, the lockdowns are removed. And right now, the deaths that are happening in China is idiotically bad. Meaning it could be actually be so bad that their population index will go down next year. I mean, like people are saying that in satellite, that's how much bodies are being cremated. It's like, poof. The numbers are brutally high. The only good news which they used to hope is that it's only old people. But now the old people arrow, it's below 60 now. It's like, oh, after 60 you go poof, nobody cares. No. People do care, especially if a very large percent of them goes away. But if that arrow starts to cross 50, now you're poofing people who are top of their game, who are the most experienced one, who are the basically backbone of your organization. So all that thing you have to understand. If that amount of people start to disappear directly, bye-bye country. But again, how the heck that happened? Did that happen day one? Hell no. These people were not vigilant enough. They were going around and they paid the price. So how can we actually solve it? Well, not really. We cannot. The architecture itself, the ground is fertile itself. But transparency is one layer of armor that is like, it will not let it get too out of hand. Ethics is the most expensive part here. Like, if you ever wanted to understand what is the most expensive part in this world, ethics, you cannot buy it. Everything, you can buy honesty, by the way. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, you can really buy honesty. There are many people who's like, oh, I'll be honest with you if you pay this much money. Pay them. And again, many security teams, many lawyers, many all that. Like, you can buy honesty surprisingly easily, but you can't buy ethics. Ethics is really brutal. Like, we have to have it. And ethics is one of those things that we understand, oh, it's the lovey-dovey feeling. No, it's primal. It's survival. You scratch my back, I scratch your back. Like, you take care of me, I take care of you. And both of us survive. Because again, if everybody in Pakistan 20 years ago were like, you know what, we really should pay attention to economics. If people in CCP is like, you are literally harvesting children for organs for 80-year-old officials. No, you do not sacrifice your future for your present, because the future will come and when you will have nothing. So again, they did not, they paid the price. So transparency and ethics is the only long-term solution, where it's like, it will still be bad, it will just like not too bad, not too out of hand. So these are the limitations that we can apply to handle the situation, get a handle on things. So this was my presentation on basically this bureaucratic mess that we live in. Hopefully you have liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me extra disappointment. Please leave a comment, because I do try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free, and as always, thanks for watching.